Social franchising is a relatively new way of gathering together private providers who are already functioning in developing countries and adding services on to what they already do or improving the quality of services they already do. And it's kind of taken off.
We have gathered here representatives of 52 different social franchises from 35 countries, and that's quite remarkable. The people who are here are the people who have designed it and the people who are doing it. So it's not a meeting of those people who write about it or think about it, it's a meeting of the people who really do it. This is the Minister of Health of Kenya.
Welcome to Mombasa, Karibu Kenya.
Can social franchising really grow large enough to have an impact at a national scale?
Right from the start, I think a whole list of issues has arisen, and you suddenly realize there's so much work to be done.
I think the challenge that we're facing is, what's the role for a foundation in catalyzing further growth and innovation of this field, and we're just trying to figure out what's the most strategic role that we can play in that.
Every day there's millions of private providers of different quality delivering millions of services, and we need to organize those so that donors and host governments can figure out ways to work with them.
You know, everybody in the room here, I think, is nodding about this, the time is right for integration into the health system. But it's just not clear who's going to make that happen.
No, the hardest part is integration. The other challenge is how do you sustain this? How do you finance it? To me, it's possible, and we are learning from each other ways of doing social franchising better.
From my perspective, working in WHO, it's real important for the public sector to be able to relate to the private sector. And it's actually very difficult for government to relate to individual providers. So some sort of networking has to take place. And one of the fastest growing types of networks that's been occurring is through franchising.
In these 2 days, I figured out if I'm from India and someone's from Africa or someone's from another side of the globe, more or less the challenges are common.
We just have to come to some decisions as a community of practice and find a balance between financial sustainability and serving the poor, and how we're going to work in quality in particular.
The tipping point will not happen until people who look after health systems see people who do franchising as their own friends.
I think there's a lot of energy at this conference, and I'm confident this is not going to be the last social franchising conference.
This is one of the coolest conferences I've been at. To hear from all of the people here about what they're doing and to watch them as they see what is happening in Vietnam or what's happening in Indonesia, what's happening in Ghana or Nigeria, and think, wow, that's really amazing. You know, I could bring that home.